sometimes creative directors take the creative part of their job title a little bit too seriously. Hey guys, it's Julie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about gimmicky makeup products. I like to think that I'm above falling for something that's clearly just a marketing ploy to get people to talk about a product that's otherwise very underwhelming in quality, but I was able to make a list of 17 things to talk about in this video, so clearly I'm not. Especially in the age of Instagram and makeup marketing being very centered towards virality, I feel like we see a lot of gimmicky makeup products where brands are trying to reinvent the wheel of application, a new different special type of formula, when really sometimes the wheel does not need reinvention. So today I want to go through a bunch of makeup products that I feel have a certain gimmick to them and just evaluate whether or not they actually work. Does this special gimmicky quality actually make it more user-friendly or a better formula, or is it just something that's kind of useless? Full details of this look should already be on Instagram, and without further ado, let's talk. I wanted to start off with quite possibly the kingpin of viral makeup content, which is the Juno & Co. Microfiber sponge. I've tried microfiber sponges before and just not liked how they apply my makeup at all. I feel like they don't really do a great job of what I like my sponges to do, which is absorb the excess makeup, so I get this nice seamless application. I feel like microfiber sponges don't absorb as much makeup, so as a result you get a lot thicker of an application of your foundation. But I was told to try out the actual original Juno & Co. sponge instead of just basing my entire thoughts of microfiber sponges around the AOA ones that I've tried. I still don't like it. First of all, it gets dirty very easily, but after one use of it being clean, this is what it looks like. But I just didn't really enjoy how it blended out my foundation. You do get a lot thicker of an application because the microfibers, instead of soaking in that excess product, they're just kind of distributing it around. So you do get a more full beat look, but I really feel like it wasn't pushing my foundation into my skin. It was just making it sit on top in a somewhat even looking layer, but if you get close to my skin, you can see it's just a layer of foundation on top of my face rather than melding in with my skin. So in the couple times I've used this sponge, I've blended out my foundation in the best way that I can, but then I always just look at it and I'm like, nah. I end up going in with a sponge afterward just to kind of push everything into my skin and really get that nice seamless effect that I'm going for. But I just think foam sponges do a better job for me and just give me the finish I'm looking for. Also, it really just feels dry all the time. The only thing I would say, I do like how this one picks up powder. So if for any reason I want to use a sponge with my powder, I think this does a really great job of dispensing and picking up loose powders, but for liquid products, I just don't like how it blends things out. A gimmick, if I ever did see one, this is the Kaja Cheek Stamp Blush. Cushion products are very big, especially in Asia, and Kaja is a Korean brand, I believe. But this is sold in Sephora. It's a cushion blush, and then you get this little applicator. You just stick it in there and then stamp it on your face. The thing is, this is the worst applicator I've ever used. It's not really a blendy sponge. It's kind of rigid. If you push it, it does contract and stuff, but it's just kind of this stiff little apparatus, and as a result I feel like it just doesn't deposit this blush in a very nice way. Overall, it's really not my favorite formula of cream blush, especially because you get such a small amount of product in here. I really could not see this being worth anything more than $5. But the way that I've been using it is I just take a brush, pat it in there, and I think that gives me a little bit better of a look than with the cheeky stamp. So what I think that they could have done is nix the kind of gimmick altogether of the little heart stamp thing and just make a bigger pan with more product of this for the same price. That would make more sense to me because you're still getting the kind of concept of a cushion cheek product, which I think is a really, really lovely formula. And you can still have it shaped like a heart or something, but the stamp, completely and utterly useless. Are we shocked? No. Are we disappointed? Very much so. Farsali is the Instagram brand. I feel like they really only make their products to be used in Instagram videos. Something that they came out with that kind of broke the internet when it first released was the Farsali Jelly Beam Highlighter. I got the mini size because I did not want to spend $40 on a jelly putty highlighter that I wasn't sure I was gonna like. I actually really did like this formula when it was a cream. Right now it's pretty much dried up, so I actually kind of have been using it as a powder highlighter while just kind of dip my brush in and use it as I would a powder highlighter. This did dry out pretty quickly for me though, which is disappointing. When it was in its normal jelly putty texture though, this I really do like. I think it's a gorgeous cream highlighter. It really does do a great job of melting into your skin. Blaze is the lightest shade and it's sometimes edged a little bit dark for me, but I feel like it kind of gave me a similar effect to the Amrezy highlighter on the skin. I do not say that lightly, but it just really gave you this nice melty natural golden cheekbone without looking like, oh, she put a ton of highlighter on her face. My only thing is I really like applying this with fingers. I think that's just the best way to apply it and get it to blend out nicely. And if you have long nails, you can't really stick your finger in there. That's what she said. Overall, it is a gimmicky product. It does work though, and I think it is a really pretty highlighter. So that's my overall evaluation of the Jelly Beam. This arrived at my doorstep a couple weeks ago, and I have wanted to try the Too Faced Diamond Light Highlighter for a long time. Not the pink one in particular, but they have this like original like white iridescent one that I thought was so pretty. It was on my wishlist for a while, but I was like, you don't really need any new highlighters, don't buy it right now. Somehow, side tangent, we're gonna get back to what I'm talking about in a minute, but sometimes I get PR packages from brands I never gave my address to, and it's kind of concerning. I have a manager, obviously, and I have a management label, but they don't really give out my address unless they ask me, like, do you want to get PR from this brand? So I don't know how BoxyCharm got my address, but I got a BoxyCharm last month, and it came with a PR brief in there, so it was a PR package. I just don't know how they got my address, and this has happened many times with a bunch of different brands. Most recently, the palette I'm currently wearing on my eyes right now is from Odin's Eye, a Scandinavian indie brand. Beautiful products. They sent me a couple things. I don't know how they got my address, but I'm glad I have this palette because I think it's really pretty. But point still stands. Kind of creepy to get a PR package randomly. Anyways, I got the Too Faced Diamond Light Highlighter. This is the pink version. I don't love pink highlighters on me, but I was more interested in trying out the formula overall. Because obviously, it's a diamond. It's in this bulky packaging, which I hate bulky packaging, but I do make exceptions when I feel like it just kind of adds to the general user experience and aesthetic of the product. This is not good. I don't like this. I feel like it's very dry. Kind of subtle, honestly. It doesn't really give me any type of nice glow. You guys know I love a good non-glittery highlighter. I think this is a really nice smooth formula and seems like it's gonna be a nice soft glow, but it just kind of disappears. If you try to like build it up and get a nice like glow going, I feel like it starts to look kind of powdery. I just don't like this formula, so yeah. In this case, the gimmick does not pay off. Another questionable decision at the hands of the Blandino family. I feel like the biggest and honestly most disingenuous trend of 2019 was skincare brands getting into marijuana. Cannabis became the it ingredient of 2019. I think we saw a lot of brands. I do think it's a great ingredient though, and there are a lot of benefits. I'm really hoping to see like more medical related applications and studies of cannabis as a plant because I think it has really great therapeutic properties. But in terms of it being used as like a makeup and skincare add-on, I think it was very interesting to see the industry kind of take on CBD, cannabis, hemp, marijuana
420, what you smoking?
as like their new hot ingredient because it's such a stigmatized thing. Anyways, I'm rambling. First Aid Beauty came out with this ultra repair cannabis and oat dry oil. The marketing of this was not necessarily like smoke weed every day, but they were really driving home like cannabis. It's a cannabis oil when really that's not like the first ingredient in the product. That being said though, I do love this on my skin. I know Abby also likes this one a lot. We have, again, very similar makeup tastes. We are not the same person though. This is lovely. It's a really good dry oil. My skin is very prone to overexfoliation and just being very aggressively sensitive at all times. This is something I can put on my skin if it's inflamed, if it's red, if I did way too much at once, and really just get me back to homeostasis, calm my skin down, and just kind of save my skin, honestly. So this is something I've already repurchased once, and it's just something I need to have. So I know that if I ever overstep with my skincare products, I can use a little bit of weed to calm it down. Did I say Farsali was an Instagram brand? I'm sorry, I meant Huda Beauty. Huda's entire like brand aesthetic is very centered around Instagram makeup and the ideals of what Instagram makeup represents. And the new nude palette in particular, as beautiful as it is very much a palette that I feel was made to be photographed and made for Instagram. It's made and laid out in a very visually appealing way between these like multi-dimensional shimmers and the pressed glitters in here. It's made to look really, really pretty in pictures. And it does, clearly. You guys love the pink glittery post I did recently with this one. I do think it's a beautiful palette and it's very nice to look at because of the textures in here. She definitely decided to go a different route with the formulas in here and try something new. Did that newness pay off? In my opinion, yes. The multi-dimensional shimmers in here are the most beautiful shimmers I own. I would love like a full palette or maybe like an Obsessions palette of just these like dimensional shimmers. The pressed glitter is not my favorite, but I live with them. I hate this concealer shade right here, but the mattes in here are beautiful. This is one of my favorite neutral palettes, especially because for me, blushy tone neutrals are like my favorite type of neutrals. This has been a consistent favorite. I think the risk she took with these formulas and the kind of gimmick of the textured shimmers overall really did pay off. One of the more interesting items of makeup I've come across is a lipstick brand completely dedicated to creating products designed to be used in ASMR. This brand is called ASM Artistry, so ASMR artistry. But basically this lipstick is made to have this really beautiful sensorial experience when you use it. It has a soft open cap. Welcome back to my channel. Listen to this lipstick. And then I'm gonna cap it. That was my ASMR. Buy my bathwater. Goodbye. I'm so sorry that you had to witness that. Anyways, it's a lipstick completely tailored to being used in ASMR. I think the packaging is really nice. It's very weighty, it feels very luxurious, but what matters to me is the formula. It's supposed to be a matte nude lipstick, but it has a little bit of like micro glitter all over the outside. Pretty standard feeling lipstick formula. It's not completely matte. It doesn't really dry down. I think this color, which is called Nude Warm Vanilla, love that name. I think it's beautiful. It just, for some reason, my lips hate this. I've never been allergic to a like nude lipstick before. I'm only allergic to reds because of the red 40 dye. But this, for some reason, irritates the crap out of my lips and I don't know what it is. It makes me very sad because this is a beautiful, beautiful shade, but I just can't wear this one for more than 5 minutes without feeling like a stinging sensation on my lips. And if anything ever stings your face or your lips, take it off immediately. Tingling is different, especially for like AHA products for your skincare or if you're doing like a peppermint thing on your lips, but any type of like intense pain, that's not good. I hope you enjoyed my ASMR. I want to talk about glitter injections as loose glitters. The ones in particular that come in this little syringe packaging. It seems to me like we as a makeup community have decided that like hard drug related makeup products or anything that really alludes to hard drugs is not generally acceptable. Because drugs are not good, obviously, and of course addiction is not something to just like trivialize with like, oh, ooh, syringes, woo! So I wouldn't be surprised if glitter injections kind of phases out this like image of their brand as like little syringes of glitter. I just dropped it, cool. Besides the kind of social implications of the packaging itself, I wanted to talk about the functionality of the packaging itself. This is the most non-functional, most annoying way to store loose glitter. You have to take this little plunger out. Some of it is going to like billow out because it's so pressurized. You have to like have a very nice thin brush to actually get in here or dump some of it out if you want to. It's also like not the most functional shape to store. Overall, there's really nothing wrong with like loose glitter in a pot. Like, again, we didn't need to reinvent the wheel and store loose glitter in a syringe. I get that it was part of the brand aesthetic, but
thank you, next bitch!
one of my favorite gimmicks by far is the Huda Beauty Major Glow Highlighting Mist. This is what I put on my face if I just want my entire skin to look glazed like a donut. It is very hard to control where the glow is going to end up because it is a mist. For me, I just kind of aim it right around this area over here and it just coats this entire, like, from my brow bone down to around my cheekbone. It just makes it look wet and shiny. Having a highlighter in mist form, I think, is a very gimmicky thing. Just like the Dior Air Flash Foundation, which I haven't tried, that's another gimmicky product. Nobody really asked for highlighter or foundation in aerosol form, but I tried this out and I do think it is really pretty. It does work, but I wouldn't like say highlighter in aerosol form is the only type of highlighter I'll ever use again because powder highlighter works too, you know? I am very much in the camp of believing that skincare ingredients in makeup products don't really do anything for you. While yes, it's like a nice addition to have hyaluronic acid added into your foundation, it won't really do what a hyaluronic acid serum is going to do for your skin because it's not really going to penetrate as much. There's a small concentration of that ingredient in there. So for the most part, I think that like skincare ingredients in makeup itself is pretty like not sound. It doesn't hurt though, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. The Makeup Revolution Pro line has this hyaluronic acid infused setting powder called the Hydro Matte. I think if anything, setting powder is like the last place where I would want skincare ingredients because it's literally like the thing you put on top of your skin. It's not gonna penetrate layers of foundation, concealer, primer if you use that. Whatever small tiny dash of hyaluronic powder is inside this powder is not gonna do anything to your face. I do think it's a nice powder though, and I feel like it does have a little bit of like a thin slip to it where it really doesn't dry out my face like a lot of other powders do. I don't think that's because of the hyaluronic acid though, if that makes sense. I think it's just because it's a nice finely milled powder. So moral of the story, I think it's a huge gimmick for makeup products to be like, we're infused with like AHAs, skincare ingredients, or here's a setting powder or a concealer or something like that. Use skincare for skincare benefits, not makeup. This was a free gift, but I've seen these floating around on Instagram for a long time. This is from Winky Lux. It's one of those clear lipstick balms with a flower, a real flower, encapsulated inside it. And what's special about this is that it's supposed to be a pH changing color. It's supposed to be a clear balm that changes with the pH of your skin to a perfect pink color for you. Questionable. Here it goes on as a clear balm. I'm gonna wait a little bit for it to change color. I can see in person, I don't know if you can see on camera, it's changing to a pretty like faint but like fluorescent-ish pink color. That's the thing, if this was a clear lip balm, I would really enjoy this just as a thing to have, like, oh, I want to like put some clear lip balm on me, but it's actually like a pretty flower encapsulated lip balm, whatever. But this pink color in particular is so unflattering. I think pH changing products only actually change to a flattering color for a very select amount of people. On me, it just looks horrendous. So obviously a very gimmicky product. I think it's a nice formula, but I don't like the color that it turns on me. Farsali Skin Tune Primer. Again, Farsali definitely does really capitalize on Instagram trends, but I feel like they really went hard into the gimmick of Facetune, and this will make your skin look face-tuned. I don't think there's anything that can make your skin look face-tuned in real life. So the fact that the entire premise of this product was predicated on that marketing tactic, I think set it up to be a gimmicky product that doesn't actually live up to the hype in the first place. That being said though, it is a nice smoothing primer. I do really like this one either as my primer, or I actually have taken to mixing this into my foundation, like 1 to 2 drops of this into any liquid foundation, mixing it all together, and I feel like it does a really nice job of adding a smoothing effect to the foundation. But it doesn't make my skin look like it's face-tuned. I like how my skin looks when it's face-tuned. I also have started to grow to like how my skin looks when it's not face-tuned. It's a lot easier said than done though. I think people get so uppity about being all like, oh my god, you should love your natural self, but like, that's hard to do. And I rarely ever hear the term natural thrown around in a way that's not meant to like subliminally shame people who maybe aren't natural and maybe aren't comfortable with the natural side yet. We can love natural, but also we shouldn't shame people who don't adhere to that. Last and probably least, because I don't like this product, is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Gel. This was marketed as an all-in-one product for your brows where you didn't have to use any pomade, you didn't have to use like a brow pencil, you just kind of swipe this through, in like 10 seconds your brows are done. Not that simple. This is such a pigmented product that it's really easy to mess up. It also dries down very quickly and it's also very smudgy, so if you do mess up, it's hard to fix that mess. And I think most of that flaw is due to the big brush that they put in here. I think the packaging is not ideal. It was claiming to be like an all-in-one brow product, and for me it didn't simplify my brow routine. It just made it more difficult. And then honorary lightning round for things I just don't think are worth the gimmick and I don't want to go into explaining them. The Clarisonic Foundation Brush, Glamlight Food Palettes, particularly the Pizza Palette, pretty much all of them. Ciate Glitter Flip Liquid Lipsticks. Ooh, so drying. Pure Shake and Bake Concealer. Why? When we have liquid concealers that are great and don't not work. Alright guys, that is it for all the gimmicky makeup products I wanted to subtly roast. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed down below and also follow me on Instagram to see makeup looks like this posted. And if you made it to the very end of this video, you get the bonus meme. I love you. Bye.
Real. Give a about a big Birkin bag, 5, 6 figures, stripes on my, so he call us Sigga.